What's up, guys? We are back with a full slate of MLB action here on Wednesday, September 25th. Tuesday went okay, not exactly what we had in mind. It feels like we were on the right side of every single game, guys. We scratched the Reds at plus 142 with Junis being out for that game. Didn't have the starter that we wanted. We didn't like that game anymore, and good thing we got away because that one did not go anywhere near the Reds' way. We had the Royals minus 1.5. Those bums could only manage one run on 8 hits and 2 errors from their opponent, so yeah, pretty disappointing to see the Royals win that only 1-0. We had Atlanta minus 130. That was an easy 5-1 win there. Great stuff from Swellenbach in that game. So Atlanta getting a very important win there. We had the Angels minus 112. It was a 3-2 loss for the Angels. Kohanowitz was great in that game, just did not get any run support. So unfortunate to lose that one, but we finished the night off strong. We had the under in that Cardinals-Colorado Rockies game, and it was a big sweat late in that one, but we held on there and got the win, and we also easily cashed that San Francisco-Arizona Diamondbacks over. That one got there by the 5th inning. So a 3-2 day overall, not perfect, but man, it does feel like we were on the right side in a lot of those games. We have a great video for you today with a full 15-game breakdown with some very crazy playoff races coming down to the absolute wire. If you want to win all of your bets today, guys, hit that like button. It's good luck and shows support for the channel and all the hard work we're putting in here every single day. Subscribe to the channel so you don't miss out on our daily content, and you can now also sign up for a channel membership by clicking the little join button right below the video. Members get exclusive early access to all NFL and college football videos and get their names up on screen just like right now. I really appreciate the support from all of you. Seeing that badge next to your comments absolutely warms my heart. Our videos are sponsored by StumpTheSpread.com. We have a team of experienced cappers over there for every major sport, currently covering MLB, NCAA football, UFC, and the NFL, with NHL guys coming up very soon. This is one of the best times of the year to be in the mix with so many sports going on. Click the link in the description if you're interested in signing up, and also to join our free email list to get the occasional free or premium picks straight to your inbox, and to track our new $100,000 to $10,000 challenge, which is going on right now. Comment below with any bets you're looking at today, and we'll give you our best advice on all of them. We are committed to responding to every single comment every day, so let us know anything you want to say about my picks, these videos, or anything you see here. As always, our favorite picks will be in the pinned comment down below. Now let's get into our first game of the day. We've got the Seattle Mariners going on the road to take on the Houston Astros in a day game. Seattle comes into this one fresh off of a tough loss out there in game 2 of the series, losing 4-3 in a very close one. They're going to be handing the ball in this game to George Kirby, who's 13-11 on the year with a 3.60 ERA. Giving the ball to a young guy in such a vital spot probably doesn't feel amazing, but he's looked very good over his last couple of starts, and 3 out of his last 4 have been what I would at least term as elite. So we'll see what he can do going up against a Houston team in this game that he was very good against back in July. That's the last time he faced them. July 20th, 6 innings, 4 hits, only 1 earned run allowed. Unfortunately for him, Seattle did not give him hardly any run support in that game. They ended up losing 4-2. So we'll see if he can replicate that kind of performance here and keep on throwing the ball well, which is what we've been seeing from him recently in terms of their bullpen. Seattle's been very good this season, no doubt about that. One of the better bullpens in the majors, or at least top 10. We got to give them credit for that. They're somewhere around 9th or 10th right now with a 3.69 bullpen ERA. The offense all year long, that's been the question for this Mariners team, guys. Just not very good. 3, 6, 5, 8, 8, and 3 runs over their last few games is honestly just massive production from the Mariners. Just not a team that you can trust to get runs across the plate, though. 21st in the majors in runs scored this year and 29th in batting average. So we'll see what they can do in this one going up against the Houston Astros as these teams battle it out there for the AL West crown. Definitely Houston with a 5-game lead there, looking like they're going to clinch that one, but Seattle is still in the mix, 2.5 games back there in the American League wildcard race, so we'll see what they can do. It's going to be down to the wire, though, no doubt about that. The Astros are going to be handing the ball in this game to Yusei Kikuchi, who's 9-9 on the year with a 4.19 ERA. His last start was against the Angels, and he was very good. It was the Angels, guys, but he was good out there. 6 innings, 5 hits, only a single earned run, and he struck out 9. He's been very good since getting traded over there to the Astros. It's definitely been a big step up from him. And yeah, the last time he went up against the Seattle Mariners, I would say that's got to be a team he's faced at least once this year. Yeah, it was back in April, though, and he was very good, but it was in April, so not too much we can take from that. In terms of their bullpen, Houston has been elite down the stretch. I mean, somewhere around 6th in the majors with a 3.64 bullpen ERA, so very, very solid stuff there. And the offense, obviously not killing it with only 4 runs yesterday, and obviously missing Alvarez for this game, very likely for this game at least. Not a great thing, but they've been finding a way. They put up 4 runs yesterday. I think they're going to be, trying to figure something out here against a young starter that's been throwing the ball well. So we'll see what they can do. And looking at the numbers for this game, we've got the Mariners at plus 116, the Astros at minus 134. We've got an over-under of 8 out there in this game. Seattle is 35-44 on the road. Houston is 45-34 at home. So definitely an edge there to the Astros. We've got some mixed trends here towards the over-under, with Houston being an under team at home and Seattle being an over team on the road. Guys, on the side in this one, I'm probably just going to go ahead and lean towards the Astros at minus 134, even with Alvarez out for this game, but I'm not too interested in the side. I'm much more interested in that over-under of 8. I think this should be 7.5, so that's a full half run of value there for us. Go ahead and give me under 8 in this one. I think that's a very, very good spot in a day game, which makes things a little bit weird for Seattle and maybe even a little bit weird for Houston at this point. I don't think we're going to see too much offense in this one, especially given the pitchers and the bullpens we have at play. Next up, guys, we've got the Chicago Cubs going on the road to take on the Philadelphia Phillies. We saw the Cubs come out and get the win in Game 2 of this series, 10-4 there. Obviously, the Phillies is celebrating pretty hard the night before, it sure looked like, so we'll see if they can bounce back a little bit. They still have things to play for, fighting for a home field advantage and stuff like that. The Cubs are going to be giving the ball to Javier Assad in this one. He's 7-5 on the year with a 3.34 ERA. His last start was against the Nationals. Not great. 5 innings, 7 hits, 3 earned runs, and start for that at Colorado also wasn't amazing. So going up against a team like the Phillies, probably not going to be the easiest spot for him. Not a team that he's faced yet this season, so that might be a small advantage for him, but we'll see how that goes. We'll also see what we get from that Cubs bullpen that's been kind of middle of the pack this year, a shade better than middle of the pack, but a 3.83 bullpen ERA right now at the end of the season doesn't really fill me with tons of optimism. In terms of their offense, the Cubs, I mean, obviously coming off a game they scored 10 runs is great, but this has not been an amazing offensive team this season. Kind of middle of the pack, 16th in batting average, 15th in slugging percentage. Not necessarily a team I'm expecting to put up crazy numbers. So we'll see what they can do against the Phillies, who come into this one still fighting for a little bit, but definitely seems like a team that's been pretty content now that they've made the, locked up their position in the playoffs. Mostly, they're giving the ball in this one to Christopher Sanchez, who's 11-9 this year with a 3.25 ERA. His last start was at the Mets, and he was pretty good. 5 innings, 3 hits, 2 earned runs in that one. He did walk 5, so clearly did not have his A-plus stuff, but overall, guys, over his last 5 starts, he has not allowed more than 2 earned runs. So very, very good stuff from Sanchez here down the stretch. And the last time he took on the Cubs, though, definitely gives us reason for concern. It was back on the 4th of July, and he got shelled in 4 innings, giving up 7 earned runs. So we'll see if he can bounce back from that one. Definitely gives us a little bit of reason for concern. And the Phillies, they come into this game, the bullpen's been looking much better. A 3.92 bullpen ERA over the course of the season is a much better number than they were at. Yeah, only, I would say, 20, maybe 30 games ago, this bullpen was looking very, very suspect. So we'll see if they can keep that pointed in the right direction as they head towards the playoffs. The offense, obviously coming off a game they scored 4 runs, is not great, and they haven't been swinging the hottest bats recently. I mean, 4, 6, 1, 3, 12, and then 6. Like, this is a team that can put up some runs, and they've been one of the best offenses in the majors over the course of the season. But down the stretch, guys, it seems like they're kind of just ready to, get into playoff mode and kind of relax a little bit, regroup before the playoffs start. So maybe not as locked in as they should be. And looking at the numbers for this game, we've got the Cubs at plus 160, the Phillies at minus 174. We've got an over-under of 8 in this game. Guys, the Cubs are only 38-41 on the road. The Phillies are 53-25 at home, so a dominant home team. We've got mixed trends here towards the over-under. The Phillies are an under team at home, and the Cubs are an over team on the road. But in this game, I definitely think that over 8 is very much in play. I mean, maybe I don't love that with Sanchez on the mound, but he got shelled the last time he faced the Cubs, so definitely have to take a look at that over. And in terms of the side in this game, I don't know, guys. I'm leaning more towards the Cubs than I am towards the Phillies. I don't have a great read on this one, but I would definitely take the Cubs at plus 160 if you're forcing me to bet this one, thinking maybe the Phillies are just a little bit checked out here as they wait for the playoffs, but we'll have to see what happens. This one isn't a game that I have a ton to lean on here. Next on the docket, we're looking at the Cincinnati Reds going on the road to take on the Cleveland Guardians. The Reds come into this game. They've been eliminated from playoff contention for a while. We were looking at maybe being on them yesterday, but we scratched that one in the morning when we saw the pitching change, and good thing we did. They lost 6-1 in game 1 of this series. We do have Jacob Eunice scheduled to pitch in this game here today, so we'll see if that actually happens. Definitely keep your eyes peeled. His last start, he was elite against the Braves. 6 innings, 2 hits, only a single earned run, and his last 3 appearances have all been starts, and and he hasn't allowed more than 1 earned run in any of them. So very, very solid stuff. If we see him on the mound, definitely something to take majorly into consideration. In terms of their bullpen, the Reds haven't been as good down the stretch as they were early in the season, definitely falling a bit below average, and the offense has been a bit below average all year long, guys. I mean, we've seen exciting stuff from Elly De La Cruz. That's been fun, but 14th in the majors in runs scored, 26th in the majors in batting average. Just not really a team that's hitting the ball well enough for us to get very excited. So we'll see what they can do here going up against Cleveland, who has clinched the AL Central, but they've still got things to play for in terms of home field advantage. They obviously won yesterday 6-1, and they're going to be giving the ball to Joey Cantillo in this game. He's 2-3 on the season with a 4.63 ERA. His last few starts, though, have been very, very reasonable, guys. Last time out against the Twins, only gave up 1 earned run and struck out 6. Start before that against Tampa Bay, 6 strikeouts, 3 hits, no runs allowed over 5 innings. So we'll see what he can do. The guy has looked pretty good out there recently. Obviously, going up against a team like the Reds shouldn't be that much of a test. So we'll see what he can get done. I'm generally speaking expecting good things from him, and I'm always expecting elite stuff from that Cleveland bullpen. A 2.60 bullpen ERA. They've been the best bullpen in Major League Baseball all season long. And while the offense maybe hasn't been killing it over their last few games, I mean 6-1-5, 3 and 5 over their last few. It's fine, not necessarily amazing. They're 20th in the majors in batting average this year and 19th in on-base percentage. So looking at the numbers for this game, we've got the Reds at +125, the Guardians at -142. We've got an over-under of 8.5 in this one. The Reds are 37-39 on the road. Cleveland is 48-28 at home. We've got both teams showing trends towards the over in this spot, but it's not the over that interests me, guys. I think the under is the play on the total here, if anything, with 2 pretty decent starters out there on the mound. And in terms of the side, guys, I don't have a great lean. I would say maybe go with the Guardians since they're at home, but you could also definitely make a case for the Reds in this game. Just the price isn't quite where I need it to be. So yeah, slight lean towards the under in this one, but mostly a stay away spot for me. Hey guys, jumping in here with a quick ad break. First of all, this is a great time to sign up at stumpthespread.com. Signing up for a premium membership gets you access to our entire team of cappers covering MLB, NCAA football, UFC, and the NFL. If you just want to test out the service, a great way to do that is by joining our free email list, which will get you the occasional free or premium pick straight to your inbox. Just go ahead and click that link in the description. It'll take you right over to stumpthespread.com. Also, guys, just to clarify some of the questions we've been getting in the emails and in the comments, I am not the MLB capper for stumpthespread.com. These YouTube picks are obviously free to everyone and are just what I am seeing out there. We have an expert with nearly 15 years of experience that covers MLB and has a very strong algorithm and some very cool tools that he uses to bring our premium members the best picks possible. Don't forget to like this video and subscribe if you're new. Now back to the game. Next up, guys, we've got the Milwaukee Brewers going on the road to take on the Pittsburgh Pirates. This is a game where there's not much at stake. I guess Milwaukee technically is still in the mix for some sort of, like home field advantage stuff, but seems fairly unlikely. They're 90-67 on the year. They've won 2 in a row now. They're giving the ball to Freddie Peralta, who's 11-8 on the year with a 3.69 ERA. His last couple of starts have been very good. A great start at Arizona and then a very good start at home against the Phillies. Both of those games ended in 2-1 wins for Milwaukee. In terms of their bullpen, the Brewers have been very good this year. A 3.17 bullpen ERA has them second in the major, so not a bullpen that we were too worried about, and the bats have been pretty hot, guys. 10 and 7 runs respectively over their last 2 games is definitely solid. This has been one of the better offenses in the majors this year, tied for 5th in the MLB in runs scored. They're the 8th best batting average team and the 5th best on-base percentage team in the major league. So we'll see what they can do here going up against the Pirates, a team that's been eliminated for quite some time now. They just lost 7-2 in game 1 of this series, and they're going to be giving the ball to Luis Ortiz, who comes into this game fresh off of a very solid start at the Cardinals. 6 innings, 5 hits, 2 earned runs allowed. He struck out 7 and walked 2 in that game, and yeah, it was a 3-2 win there for the Pirates, but this guy, he came out of the pen early in the season and has just killed it as a starter here down the stretch. So we'll see what he can do in this matchup. Obviously going up against the Brewers, not the easiest. And the last time he faced the Brewers, I believe it was a bullpen appearance. He gave up 2 hits and an earned run while walking 2 and striking out 5 in that game. So we'll see if he can do a little bit better in this one. I'm not expecting miracles from him, and I'm expecting nightmares from that Pirates bullpen. A 4.56 bullpen ERA, one of the worst in the majors this season. So a lot's going to fall on the shoulders of this offense, and it hasn't been been great. I mean, yeah, 2, 2, 1, 3, 3, and 5 runs over their last few games. Brian Reynolds kind of hitting the bricks here at the end of the season. Ever since the All-Star break, he has not been nearly as good, and they're 23rd in the majors in batting average and 25th in on-base percentage. So looking at the numbers for this game, we got the Brewers at -146, the Pirates at +130. We've got an over-under of 7.5 in this game. Milwaukee is 44-34 on the road. The Pirates are 38-40 at home. We got trends towards the over here, and they're fairly significant trends, so I think you might want to take a little look at that over 7.5, but with these two guys on the mound, do we really want to be on the over? I kind of tend to doubt that, and I'm more likely to just lean on the Brewers at -146 in this game against a Pirates team that really has nothing to play for right now. Next on the docket, guys, we got the Tampa Bay Rays going on the road to take on the Detroit Tigers. The Rays come into this game fresh off a tough 2-1 loss there at Detroit. Going up against Scooball is no joke, and it's 78-79 on the year. Tampa Bay, unfortunately for them, finds themselves very, very close to being eliminated there for contention for the American League wildcard spot. They're going to be giving the ball to my brother from another mother, Zach Littell. He's 8-9 on the season with a 3.56 ERA. His last start, he was absolutely lights out against the Red Sox. 7 innings, only 1 hit allowed, and 7 strikeouts in that game. Dominant stuff, and he has been lights out. Has not given up a run over his last 3 starts. So he's going to be doing his utmost to keep his team in the game here. We'll see if the Tampa Bay bullpen can keep up, but they've been very, very good here down the stretch, guys. They're sitting somewhere in the top 9 in the majors at the moment, and the offense, that's really what's held this team back here over the course of the season, guys. I mean, 1, 4, 3, 1, and 2 runs over their last few games. Just not enough to get the job done. They're 29th in the majors in runs scored. So that's kind of been the story of why this team is about to get eliminated, guys. And they are going up against the Tigers, who have won 3 in a row now. Really, really playing well here down the stretch. They are fighting hard to stay right there with the Royals in that last wild card spot. They're tied right now, 2 games up on Minnesota. So crazy stuff there in the American League wildcard race. The Tigers are handing the ball to Keter Montero in this game, who's 6-6 on the year with a 4.86 ERA. His last start, he got shelled by the Baltimore Orioles. Not great stuff in that one, so we'll see what he can get done here against a much more lighter hitting Tampa Bay Rays team that, like I was saying, guys, has not had a great time at the plate, and it's a team that he hasn't faced yet this season, so we'll see who that ends up helping. The Tigers bullpen has been elite at the end of the year. A 3.60 bullpen ERA has them one of the best 4 or 5 bullpens in the majors, and while the offense hasn't been great, they've been coming up with something. 2, 4, 6, 1, 4, and 3 runs over their last few games. We've seen decent stuff from Riley Green. This team's 18th in the majors in runs scored and 28th in on-base percentage, so definitely problems at the plate, but not quite as bad as what you see from a team like the Rays. So looking at the numbers for this game, we see the Rays at +105, the Tigers at -112. We got an over-under of 7.5 in this game. Tampa Bay 36-39 on the road. Detroit 39-36 at home. We've got both teams showing trends towards the under in this one, and that makes some sense to me, guys. Taking under 7.5 seems very live. Tampa Bay 43-31-1 to the under on the road, and Detroit 39-34-2 to the under at home. I could definitely wrap my head around an underplay in this one. Neither offense really impresses me too much. If you really want to go with a side in this game, I am leaning towards sticking with family here and going with the Tampa Bay Rays at +105, but I think the better lean in this one is that under. I really worry about the Rays being able to put up enough runs in any game. Next on the docket, guys, we're looking at the Kansas City Royals going on the road to take on the Washington Nationals. The Royals let us down last night, getting the win by only a single run there against Washington, thanks to a throwing error. I don't know. The Royals just can't hit the ball right now. They're giving the ball to Michael Lorenzen in this game. He's coming off the 15-day IL and kind of seems like a bold choice to run him out there in such a crucial game. But 7-6 on the year, a 3.43 ERA. The dude was looking great before he went down with that hamstring injury. So the idea would be that he can come back and pretty much just be absolutely fine out there. And yeah, I mean, he was looking good, no doubt about that. We'll see what he can do here against the Washington Nationals. Obviously not the hardest hitting opponent out there, and not a team that he's faced yet this season, so we'll see what he can do. I'm expecting good stuff from him and good stuff from this Royals bullpen that's been much better down the stretch. A 4.30 bullpen ERA at the moment. Not really an accurate representation of where this bullpen's at the moment, so expecting pretty good things from the Royals pitching staff. I'm expecting absolutely nothing from their offense, guys. It's been so bad. 1-0-0-1 and 2 runs over their last few games. Embarrassing stuff. They're down to 12th in the majors in runs scored and 7th in batting average. This team has to figure it out at the plate, and they've got to do it right away. They're going up against the Washington Nationals, who come into this game not having a great time here down the stretch. Obviously, they kept that last one very, very close. This is a team that's been eliminated from contention for a long, long time. They're giving the ball to DJ Hers in this game. He's 4-8 this season with a 4.30 ERA. His last start was against the Mets. He got absolutely shelled out there. He's a young guy, only 23 years old. You gotta expect some inconsistency because he's had some very good outings as well. We'll see what he can do here going up against a Royals team that right now is swinging some ice cold bats. Are they going to figure it out at some point? I sure hope so. And is that going to be tonight? I think it's definitely a possibility. The Nationals bullpen, while they had a good time yesterday, not great over the course of the year. A 4.14 bullpen ERA has them clearly below average, and the offense for them has been just about as bad as it's been for the Royals. 0, 5, 3, 6, and 0 runs over their last few games. This has not been a good offense over the course of the season, and they're not even really at full strength right now. 24th in the majors in runs scored and 24th in slugging percentage. So looking at the numbers for this game, we've got the Royals at -115, the Nationals at +102. We've got an over-under of 7.5 in this one. Kansas City is 37-38 on the road. Washington is 36-39 at home. We've got both teams showing trends towards the under here. The Royals 41-30-4 to the under on the road, and Washington 37-33-2 to the under at home. Could definitely wrap my head around an under 7.5, although that seems like a very, very small number. But both these teams swinging some ice cold bats right now. I think the value in this game, though, is on the Royals at that very, very cheap price. They have to be desperate for wins right now. Any mistakes really could be magnified. They are going to be desperate to figure things out at the plate. So giving the Royals at -115 in this spot, I think it is an excellent play. Next on the docket, guys, we're looking at the Baltimore Orioles going on the road to take on the New York Yankees. The Orioles come into this game fresh off of a 5-3 win over the Yankees yesterday. Baltimore, they have clinched their second straight playoff berth, so they got to be pumped about that. Not a whole lot left for this team to be playing for, so I think we're going to see maybe not the peak effort there from the Orioles, who have kind of been stumbling here down the stretch. They're going to be giving the ball to Zach Eflin, who's 10-9 on the year with a 3.53 ERA. He's been very good over his last 5 starts, guys, never allowing more than 3 earned runs, and just looking pretty good at a time when this team really, really needed premium starting pitching, as the offense has pretty much just disappeared. The last 2 times he's taken on the Yankees were both in July, and neither one was really that dominant, so we'll see what he comes up with in this one in what has to be kind of a low intensity, sort of low effort spot here for Baltimore. Their bullpen has been a little bit better down the stretch, but still not great, and the offense, while they did just score 5 runs in the last game, has not been the same as it was in the middle or early portions of the season, where they were absolutely insane. So we'll see what they can do here going up against the Yankees, who've clinched the AL East, but still have a little bit of work to do in order to make sure they have home field advantage. Obviously, they lost yesterday 5-3, but at 92-65 on the year, don't have too much to worry about. They're giving the ball to Nestor Cortez, who's 9-10 on the year with a 3.77 ERA. His last 3 starts have been absolutely premium, dominant against Seattle, Boston, and the Cubs. So we'll see what he can do here against Baltimore, a team that's maybe going to be a little bit tired from a night of being pretty excited. Back on the 18th of June, he faced Baltimore, went 6 innings, gave up 5 hits and no runs in a 4-2 win there for the Yankees. So feeling pretty good about Cortez in this spot, feeling pretty good about that Yankees bullpen here down the stretch as well. They're currently 5th in the majors with a 3.61 bullpen ERA, so very little to be upset about there. And while the bats didn't look great yesterday, they've been swinging them pretty well here down the stretch. I mean, 3, 7, 10, 4, 2, 2, and 11 runs over their last few games. Not a disaster, and yeah, obviously this has been one of the best offensive teams in the majors this season. 3rd in runs scored, 9th in batting average, and 2nd in on-base percentage, while also being the 4th best slugging percentage team in the majors. So I think we'll see good stuff from the Yankees in this game, and looking at the numbers for this one, that's what the odds makers expect as well. We've got the Orioles at +120, the Yankees at -142. We've got an over-under of 8 in this game. Baltimore is 42-33 on the road. The Yankees are 42-33 at home. We've got both teams showing some trends towards the over here, and if you wanted to take over 8, I think I could maybe wrap my head around that one, but I don't love it. I think Cortez is going to be good in this game. I do worry about Eflin. I do worry about that Baltimore bullpen, but I don't worry about the Yankees pitching situation this one too much. So just go ahead and give me the Yankees at -142 in this game. They've got something to play for, and Baltimore kind of just gets to coast out the rest of the year. Next up, guys, we're looking at the Boston Red Sox going on the road to take on the Toronto Blue Jays. Boston comes into this game not yet officially eliminated, getting kind of close there. They've won their last 4 in a row, which has helped. They're 80-78 on the year. Giving the ball in this one to Richard Fitz, who has yet to give up a run in this season. He's been looking nuts out there. He hasn't been going super deep into games, but this 24-year-old kind of seems seems like they should have had him up earlier because he is going nuts. His last start was against the Twins, 5 innings, 5 hits, no runs allowed. Start for that at the Yankees, 5 innings, 2 hits, no runs allowed. This dude is looking crazy out there. So, yeah, honestly expecting good stuff from him in this game, no doubt about that. The Red Sox bullpen's been maybe a hair better recently, but not a bullpen that I am going to be super stoked about with a 4.45 bullpen ERA over the course of the year. That is not something you want to be backing too often. And while the offense, they have seemingly figured things out. They went through a prolonged cold stretch, but they've scored 6, 4, 9, 8, and 2 runs over their last few games. 9th in the majors in runs scored over the course of the season, 6th in batting average. This team being so good at the plate is what kept them afloat, and yeah, them falling apart at the plate really is why they are kind of staring elimination from the playoffs, in the face right now. So we'll see what they can do going up against the Blue Jays, who come into this game fresh off of a 6-5 loss yesterday. They're giving the ball to Kevin Gausman, who's 13-11 on the year with a 3.91 ERA. His last start was at the Rangers, obviously a pretty easy pitching situation, but 5 innings and no hits surrendered while striking out 6 and walking 1 in that game. Very elite stuff, and I would say out of his last 5 starts, at least 4 of them were very, very good. So we'll see what he can do here going up against a pretty tough hitting opponent, or at least tough again, as Boston did just get out of that prolonged cold stretch. He faced them twice back in June, and neither start was really very good. We did see Toronto get a win in one of those, but it really wasn't his fault. He gave up 3 earned runs and 4 earned runs respectively. He gave up 4 total home runs, 2 in each game. Like, this is not a guy that has great history against Boston. So we'll see what he can do. We'll see what that Toronto bullpen can do. They've been bad, a 4.76 bullpen ERA, 3rd worst in the majors, so not going to be super happy whenever he comes out of this game. And yeah, the offense has not been much better, guys. 5, 1, 3, 2, 0, and 4 runs over their last few. Just not a lot of positives to report for this team at the plate. I mean, they're 20th in runs scored, 20th in slugging percentage. Vladimir Guerrero Jr. was their bright spot, as you would, I guess, kind of expect, but even he had some pretty prolonged slumps this season. So not a team I'm pumped about at the plate. And looking at the numbers for this game, I am pretty shocked, guys. It almost feels like a trap. Boston is plus 120. The Blue Jays are minus 130. We've got an over-under of 8 in this game. Keep your eye out for some sort of weird pitching change that would seemingly justify this line. But guys, Boston 42-37 on the road. Toronto is a 500 home team. We've got both teams showing trends towards the over. If you wanted to take over 8, I could wrap my head around that for sure. But the side in this one, unless there's some big change, which I will update in the pinned comment if there is, we're going to be on Boston plus 120 in this game. I've loved what I've seen from Richard Fitz, guys. He's looked very, very good. I don't see any reason that should change here going up against Toronto. So give me Boston at that very good price in this game. Next up, guys, we have what is probably going to be the most intense game of the day tomorrow, although there's plenty of them out there. We've got the New York Mets going on the road to take on the Atlanta Braves. The Mets come into this one fresh off of that 5-1 loss in game 1 of this series. Absolutely pivotal there. Really, really tough stuff from the Mets here down the stretch. They are now only a single game up on Atlanta, so if Atlanta wins this game, boom, they are right there. We have tons of trouble there for the Mets. They're giving the ball to David Peterson in this one, who's 9-3 on the year with a 3.08 ERA. Obviously a huge, huge pressure spot for him. His last start, he was bad against the Phillies. It was weird. One great start, one terrible start against the Phillies. Both of those games were losses for the Mets, though, so that's not a great look. And the last time he took on the Atlanta Braves was back in late July, and he wasn't great. 5 innings, 4 hits, 4 earned runs allowed in that game. So pretty concerning stuff. Obviously, the Mets bullpen is decent, but not nearly as good as that Atlanta bullpen. I mean, a 3.98 ERA on the season for the Mets has to leave you a little bit concerned. And yeah, in terms of their offense, apparently Lindor, after sitting out on Tuesday, could possibly end up playing on Wednesday. That's currently what the news is. He is possible. He could return. So we'll see what happens. I kind of expect to see him out there in desperation mode, but is he going to be all the way right? Is he going to be ready to go? Going up against Chris Sale, too, kind of a tough way to ease your way back into the lineup. And the Mets offense has not been amazing down the stretch. I mean, 1, 2, 6, and 2 runs over their last few games. Not a good time for the Bats to go cold for a team that's 5th in the majors in runs scored this year. So we'll see what they can do going up against the Braves in this one, who have won 3 in a row and are making a hell of a attempt to chase this down. They're only 1 game back, and they're handing the ball to Chris Sale in this one. He is 18-3 on the year with a 2.38 ERA. His last start was at Cincinnati. He was lights out, 5 innings, 5 hits. He gave up 2 earned runs, but it was a 15-3 blowout. So I don't think he was fully locked in, and the dude has just been absolutely bonkers this season. The last time he faced the Mets, he was lights out as well, guys. 7 1/3 innings, 2 hits, 2 earned runs, 9 strikeouts, 1 walk in that game. It ended up being a 3-2 loss there for Atlanta, but I expect very, very good things from Chris Sale in this game. And obviously the Braves bullpen's been very good this year. A 3.30 bullpen ERA has them one of the 2 or 3 best bullpens in the majors. The offense has been the question mark for this team, but that's been working out lately. I mean, they've scored 5, 5, and 6 runs over their last few games. Ozuna's been doing his thing. They're 16th in the majors in runs scored, 14th in batting average. This is a team that's, putting it together at the right time. So looking at the numbers for this game, I'm a little bit surprised to see it this big of a spread, but I guess not too shocked. The Mets are plus 160. The Braves are minus 185. We've got an over-under of 7.5 in this game. The Mets are 40-34 on the road, but the Braves are 42-33 at home. We've got mixed trends towards the over-under here, but there's one that we are very interested in, guys. We're going to be under 7.5 in this game for sure. Atlanta is 49-25-1 to the under at home. Yeah, that's a huge trend. They are the best team in the MLB to the under when playing at home. Also, that minus 185, it kind of keeps me off of the side. I do think the Braves will likely win this game, but that's just too expensive of a price. And I think if they win it, it's going to be an under game. So give me the under. Next up, guys, we got the team that let us down last night. We got the Los Angeles Angels going on the road to take on the Chicago White Sox. The Angels could not come up with any offense yesterday, losing 3-2 to the White Sox. They're giving the ball to Jose Suarez in this game, who comes into this one with a 6.08 ERA on the season, although his last outing was a start, and he was very good over 5 innings against the Astros. He's looked very good in long relief over his last 3 appearances, so we'll see what he can get done in this game against a really, really bad hitting White Sox team. In terms of their bullpen, the Angels have been bad this year. Obviously, no major news there. And the offense not impressing me too much, putting up only 2 runs last night against the White Sox. So we'll see what they can get done in this game. I mean, over the course of the year, there's been a bad offensive team, 28th in batting average, 27th in runs scored, and they've scored 2, 9, 4, 7, and 1 run over their last few games. So not exactly swinging the hottest bats coming into this one, where they're taking on the White Sox, who still trying to avoid having that, a record-breakingly bad season, although it's going to be a bit tough. 37-120 on the year, giving the ball to Davis Martin, who's 0-5 on the season with a 4.27 ERA. His last start, he gave up 7 hits and 3 earned runs to the Angels over 5 innings in a game we saw the White Sox lose 5-0. So he's going to have to flip the script here a little bit, and we're going to have to see better stuff from the White Sox bullpen that's been the second worst in the majors this season. A 4.82 bullpen ERA is pretty much laughably bad, and the offense has been the worst offense in the majors this season, no doubt about that. Dead last in all of the major hitting categories, last in runs, last in on-base percentage, so on and so forth. So looking at the numbers for this game, we've got the Angels at minus 115, the White Sox at plus 104. We've got an over-under of 8.5 out there. The Angels are 31-47 on the road. The White Sox are 20-58 at home. Obviously the worst record in the MLB at home. We've got mixed trends here towards the over-under. Not too interested in that over-under of 8.5. If you wanted to play the under, that would make some sense to me. But once again, guys, I think the Angels are the side in this one at minus 115. We'll see what happens out there. Obviously, Martins does not have great history against the Angels this season, so we'll see what happens. I don't really think I can put this one in the pinned comment again, though. I'm pretty irritated they couldn't come through yesterday. Next up, we've got the Miami Marlins going on the road to take on the Minnesota Twins. The Marlins come into this game. Obviously, they've been eliminated for a while. They just won 4-1 yesterday, though, so that had to feel pretty good. They're giving the ball to Edward Cabrera, who is 4-8 this season with a 5.12 ERA, so not amazing numbers. And his last time out, he was the guy that got shelled by the Dodgers. He gave up 7 earned runs over only 2 1/3 innings. Before that, he'd been throwing the ball pretty well, so give the young guy some credit. But yeah, I mean, pitching for the Marlins got to be tough to keep that motivation level up on a nightly basis. So we'll see what happens to him in this one. Not necessarily expecting miracles. The Marlins bullpen honestly has been a bit of a problem here down the stretch, guys. A 4.24 bullpen ERA, real bad. And the offense hasn't been great either. That game where they scored 4 runs is nice, but 4, 4, 2, 4, 4, and 4 runs over their last few. Seems like you can put them on the, on the paper for 4 runs, but other than that, not going to get much more in. They're 28th in the majors in runs scored this season and 29th in on-base percentage. So they're going up against a Minnesota team that has to be in desperation mode right now, guys. They're 2 games back of Detroit and Kansas City right now. They cannot be losing any games. They're giving the ball to Simeon Woods Richardson, who's 5-5 on the year with a 4.00 ERA. His last start was a decent one at Cleveland. 4 2/3 innings, 5 hits, but only a single earned run allowed. He struck out 6 in that game, so decent stuff, but he hasn't been great, and he's not somebody you can count on to go very deep into games, and that leaves a lot of pressure on that Minnesota bullpen, a 4.13 bullpen ERA. Obviously, one of the worst bullpens in the majors. Maybe not the worst, but definitely in the bottom half. Definitely well below average. So that's a big concern for this team. A bigger concern is the disappearance of their offense. They've scored 1, 3, 1, 4, and 2 runs over their last few games. They're 11th in the majors in runs scored, 12th in batting average, but those numbers don't even hold a candle to what's going on right now. They have been awful down the stretch. So looking at the numbers for this game, I'm a little bit surprised to see it this big. I mean, we've got the Marlins at plus 175, the Twins at minus 185. We got an over-under of 8 in this one. Miami's 27-48 on the road. Minnesota is 42-33 at home. We got mixed trends here towards the over-under, with Miami being a huge under team on the road. I don't know, guys. I'm not really interested in a side in this game. I don't know what's going on here. I would maybe slide slightly with the under on that big trend there for Miami and Minnesota's bats being completely absent, but really this game's mostly a stay away spot for me. Next up, guys, we got a couple teams that came through for us yesterday. We had the under in the Cardinals, Rockies yesterday. 10 total runs got us in under that 11. The Cardinals come into this game. They've been eliminated, but they're playing well down the stretch, winning 3 in a row. They're 80-77 on the year. They're giving the ball to Eric Feedy in this one. He's 8-9 on the season with a 3.38 ERA. His last start, he was lights out against the Pirates. 6 innings, 4 hits, only a single earned run allowed, and he's been pretty good down the stretch here. Definitely a solid addition there for the Cardinals. Just wasn't enough to really get them over the finish line there and propel them to a playoff spot. So we'll see if he's somebody that ends up sticking around. In general, the Cardinals bullpen has been fantastic this year. Top 10 easily. I mean, a 3.65 bullpen ERA has them somewhere around 6th or 7th in the majors right now, and the offense was the problem over the course of the year, but they've been hitting the ball well recently. 7, 2, and 6 runs over their last few games. 25th in the majors in runs scored this season and 21st in slugging percentage, though. Obviously, when you're a veteran, hitters that you really depend on can't hit the ball at all in an entire season, that's going to be a big downer for your franchise. So we'll see what they can do here against the Rockies, who come into this one fresh off of that loss. They're 60-97 on the year, giving the ball to Austin Gomber, who's 5-11 this season with a 4.67 ERA. His last start, he got shelled by the Diamondbacks. That's going to happen to some people, though. 2 innings, 6 hits, 6 runs allowed. Start for that against the Cubs was good. Start for that against Atlanta was good. This guy's had his moments this season, absolutely no doubt about it. I don't know what we expect to see from him against the Cardinals, a team that he struggled against back in June, but we'll see. This isn't the worst pitcher in the world, although pitching for the Colorado Rockies, definitely a pretty big indictment. Their bullpen has been the worst in the world. Dead last, a 5.31 bullpen ERA. Absolutely embarrassing stuff there, and it's not like the offense has been incredible this year, despite getting to play at Coors Field. They're below average in all the major categories, 19th in batting average, 24th in on base percentage. You got to figure something out if you are this team. Like this team should not be this bad. It's embarrassing. So we'll see what they can get going here. I mean, looking at the numbers, we've got the Cardinals at minus 126, the Rockies at plus 115. We've got an over/under of 10 in this game. So they lowered it by 1 run, I guess, with Feedy out there on the mound. That's what they're looking at. Generally speaking, I don't hate the under once again. I mean, the Cardinals are 35-40 on the road. Colorado is 36-37 at home. We've got both teams showing some trends towards the under. They're not massive trends, but I do think under 10 is relatively reasonable in this game. I also like the Cardinals a good amount at minus 126. Seems like this is a team that's putting in the effort at the end of the season. Kind of weird, but I guess we'll take it. Disappointing to see where this franchise is headed this season, though. Next up, guys, we got the San Francisco Giants going on the road to take on the Arizona Diamondbacks. The Giants have been eliminated for some time now, but seem to be enjoying playing spoiler, guys. They swept the Royals, and they're looking to win their second straight game here at Arizona. They're up 11-0 in the bottom of the 9th inning. They're giving the ball to Mason Black, who's 1-4 this season with a 5.88 ERA. His last start, he was lights out against the Royals, 5 2/3 innings, 4 hits, 0 runs allowed. Start for that against San Diego was good. Start for that one against San Diego wasn't as good. So yeah, we'll see what we get from him here down the stretch. Not somebody that spent a ton of time up with the big league team. He's only 24 years old, but I think the Giants have to be pretty happy with what they're seeing from him so far. Probably not thrilled with what they got out of their bullpen this year, though. Kind of around league average, a 3.95 bullpen ERA. Definitely leaves plenty of room for improvement, and over the course of the year, there was plenty of room for improvement for this offense, but here down the stretch, they've been a bit better. Obviously, coming off a game, they scored 11, 6, 2, 9, 2, and 3 runs over their last few games. A bit better, but still not necessarily what I would term an elite offense this year. So we'll see what they can get done going up against the Diamondbacks, who have to be pretty much panicking right now. It looks like they're going to lose 3 straight. That's going to fall. They're going to fall looking like borderline out of the playoff situation there in the National League. So yeah, a very tight race between them, the Mets, and the Atlanta Braves here down the stretch. We'll see what happens, see how this shakes out, but they've got to be trying their hardest. They need to be locked in right now. They're giving the ball to Zach gallon. That's got to feel pretty good. A 13-6 record on the year with a 3.74 ERA. One of their best, or actually no, definitely their best pitcher this season. His last start against the Giants, he was lights out, 6 innings, no hits, 8 strikeouts, 4 walks, gave up no runs in what was a 6-4 win there for Arizona. The problem for the Diamondbacks this year, the main and not only problem, their starting pitching could be better, but their main problem has been this terrible bullpen, a 4.41 bullpen ERA. Not acceptable, not going to be a team that you can really take seriously. You have to have a better bullpen than that somehow. So we'll see if they can hold things together, and we'll see if this offense can come alive. Looking like, yeah, they just got shut out by the San Francisco Giants. 0, 3, 9, and 5 runs over their last few games. This is the top scoring team in the majors, the top on-base percentage team in the majors. They're second in batting average, second in slugging percentage. This is a lineup of hitters. They need to be putting runs on the board. They are the ones that are supposed to carry this team. So we'll see if they can do that here. Looking at the numbers for this game, we've got the Giants at plus 188, the Diamondbacks at minus 235. We got an over-under of 8.5 in this one. San Francisco is 37-41 on the road. The Arizona Diamondbacks are 42-34 at home. We've got San Francisco. They're the best over team on the road this season, 44-29-5 to the over on the road, and Arizona is 46-27-3 to the over at home. Guys, if it's not broke, don't fix it. We're going to be on the over in this game, over 8.5. I think we could see Arizona score over 8.5 runs all on their own in this one. I don't think that will happen because you can always count on their bullpen to give up a few runs. So yeah, give me over 8.5 in this game. Feels like a gift to me. Rounding into the home stretch here, guys, we've got 2 teams that are completely out of contention and have been for a while. We've got the Texas Rangers. They're going on the road in this one to take on the Oakland A's. The Rangers come into this game. Well, these two are actually playing right now a very tight game down the stretch. We've got the A's up 5-4 in the bottom of the 9th inning, which just means that the scoreboard has not updated yet. That game's going to be over a 5-4 win there for Oakland. The Rangers are going to be handing the ball to Cody Bradford in this one, who's 6-3 this year with a 3.59 ERA. He was lights out against Toronto in his last start, and the last time he faced Oakland, he was lights out in that one. 7 innings, 4 hits, 2 earned runs, 8 strikeouts, 0 walks in that game. So he'll be looking to replicate that. The Rangers bullpen, he'll be looking to keep them off the field as much as possible. One of the 4 or 5 worst bullpens in Major League Baseball. And the offense has not been amazing here down the stretch. I mean, 4 runs in their current game, 6 the game before that. This is not the worst offense in the world, but also not the best. I mean, 21st in runs scored and 22nd in batting average. So we'll see what they can do here going up against Oakland, who obviously not a lot to play for here down the stretch. They're handing the ball to Brady Basso, who comes into this game with a 2.33 ERA on the season. His last 3 outings have all been starts. His last time out, he did have some trouble against the Cubs, but he had a great start against Detroit, a great start against the White Sox, then a little bit of trouble there with the Cubs. So we'll see what he makes of a Texas Rangers team that obviously hasn't been too scary this season. Guys, I'm a little bit worried about this young guy out there, but we'll see. The A's bullpen hasn't been horrible this season. They had some pretty high highs, but right now sitting middle of the pack with a 3.92 bullpen ERA. And it's not like this has been a great offensive team either. 26th in runs scored, 25th in batting average. We've seen great stuff from Brent Rooker this year, but really that's been the main bright spot here for Oakland. So looking at the numbers for this one, we got the Rangers at minus 116, the A's at plus 100. We've got an over-under of 7.5. The Rangers are a bad road team. Oakland's a bad home team. We got mixed trends here towards the over-under. Guys, this one's pretty much a toss-up for me. I guess give me the Rangers at minus 116 since we've got Cody Bradford out on the mound, but really, guys, not too interested in this one. Last but not least, guys, we've got the San Diego Padres going on the road to take on the LA Dodgers. The Padres are currently up 4-1 there at the end of the 7th inning, so if they can win that game, they'll only be 2 games back of the Dodgers there in the race for the NL West, so that's still very much a live thing that's going on. The Padres are going to be handing the ball in this one to Dylan Cease, who's 14-11 this year with a 3.42 ERA. His last 2 starts have been insane, guys. His last time out against Houston, 8 1/3 innings, 2 hits, 5 strikeouts, no runs allowed. His start before that at the San Francisco Giants, 6 innings, 4 hits, no runs allowed, 10 strikeouts in that one. So we'll see what he can do here against the Dodgers. Obviously a pretty tough team to face. The last time he went against them, though, not bad at all. It was an 8-1 win there for the Padres, and he was good. 5 2/3 innings, 3 hits, only a single earned run, and that was coming immediately after his no-hitter against the Nationals. So expecting good stuff from Dylan Cease in this game. I'm expecting good stuff from that Padres bullpen. They've really reformed themselves over the course of the season and are looking very, very solid out there, and the offense has been getting it done too. 4 runs in their current game. They looked decent in their series, not elite, but decent in their series against the White Sox. They're finding a way, but it's usually on not too many runs scored. They're 8th in the majors in runs scored and 1st in batting average, but kind of having trouble stringing those hits together at the moment. So we'll see what they can do going up against the Dodgers, who come into this one obviously battling it out there in the NL West. They're giving the ball to Jack Flaherty, who's 13-7 this year with a 3.10 ERA. His last couple of starts, though, very problematic, guys. On the 19th against Miami, 6 innings, 5 hits, 3 earned runs, 2 home runs surrendered in that game. It was a 20-4 win, so I guess he probably wasn't that locked in, but still not great. And start for that, he got knocked around pretty aggressively by the Atlanta Braves. So we'll see what he can do here going up against a team like the Padres. Obviously not the easiest team to face, but he hasn't faced them yet this year, so we'll see how that goes. The Dodgers bullpen's been good this year, but maybe not elite recently. A 3.66 bullpen ERA leaves some room for improvement, and the offense has been struggling a bit, obviously only putting up 1 run so far in their current game. And I mean, down the stretch they did that 20-run blowout there against Miami, but they didn't put up any huge numbers against Colorado. And really, outside of Ohtani, I'm not too excited about what I'm seeing at the moment. All that being said, this is one of the best offenses in Major League Baseball, so they could go bonkers at any point. We'll just have to wait and see. They're 2nd in runs scored and 1st in slugging percentage. So looking at the numbers for this game, we see the Padres at plus 123, the Dodgers at minus 140. We've got an over-under of 7.5 in this game. The Padres are 44-30 on the road. The Dodgers are 50-27 at home. We got mixed trends here towards the over-under. I would lean more towards that under 7.5 in this spot. With these two guys on the mound in this specific situation, this is going to feel very, very much like a playoff game here. I'm going to be siding more seriously here towards the Padres at plus 123. I think we'll see very good stuff from Dylan Cease. Very concerning what we've seen from Flaherty lately, and I don't know if he's really ready for this stage. So go ahead and give me the Padres in this one, but it's not going in the pinned comment. Just a very, very exciting game to watch. That's all the games we have for today, guys. Hit that like button for good luck on all of your bets and subscribe to the channel if you're new. Let me know in the comments any questions you have on today's slate. Thanks for watching. You can click the link in the description to check out stumpthespread.com, and we'll see you guys tomorrow for more sports betting action.